Let's take a look at another example. Here we have 3.6 plus 5.87 minus 0.5 squared. Again, we are asked to evaluate the following. So first thing that comes to mind is PEMDAS, order of operations. Okay, P is for parentheses and all grouping symbols. E is for exponents. M for multiplication, D for division. But we follow the order left to right, which is why I have written it this way. A is for addition, S is for subtraction, and again we follow the order left to right when we have to pick between one of these two operations within the same expression. So looking at the problem that I have, we do not have any parentheses or grouping symbols. So we don't have to worry about that. I do have an exponent, so I'm going to take a look at that first. Okay, now notice, it is very important to make note of this, that the negative is not a part of the exponent. So the part we are going to be working on here is just the 0.5 squared. But we know that really means 0.5 times 0.5. It's repeated multiplication. So that is what I'm going to do. I want to keep track of the number of digits after the decimals in total. So I have 2 of them. Now that I've made note of that, I can go ahead and continue with the multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. I'm going to keep the 5 and carry the 2. 5 times 0 is 0, but plus the 2 gives me 2. Then I'm going to skip a space or put in a 0. Going to the next digit, I have 0 times 5, that's 0. And then 0 times 0 is also 0. I can go ahead and add now that I've multiplied by all the digits. I end up with 0, 25, but we have to put the decimal back in. In total, there are 2 digits after the decimal in my product. So that is going to place the decimal between the 0 and the 2. Then our problem becomes 3.6 plus 5.87. Since the negative was not with the square, I'm going to keep that minus sign there. And then the squared portion becomes 0.25. I have taken care of the exponents. Next, I would have to pick between multiplication and division, and I do not have that in this problem, so we don't have to worry about either multiplication nor division. Then I have addition and subtraction. Both of them appear in this problem, but remember, we have to follow the order left to right. So what I pick first is addition because that is first in the order left to right. When adding with decimals, you want to make sure you have lined up the place values. So I have 3.6 plus 5.87. If it helps, fill in any empty spaces with a 0. So right above the 7, I'm going to put in a 0. 0 plus 7 is 7. 6 plus 8 is 14. I have to carry the 1, but I have to bring down the decimal. I know exactly where it's supposed to be. Because we're adding or subtracting, the decimals are lined up. And then when I continue, I have 3 plus 5 is 8, plus the 1 is 9. Okay, remember, for addition and subtraction, we can line up the decimals. But the same does not hold for multiplication and division of decimals. Okay, then the last step that I have is to simply do subtraction, but the same thing. I want to make sure the place values are lined up. So I have the 9.47 minus 0.25. 7 minus 5 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. The place values are lined up, so I know where the decimal goes. And 9 minus 0 is 9. So the result of this is 9.22.